Okay, so with the Navy, I'm cross assigned. So that's complicated in itself. I didn't know what it meant really until today when I met with my cross assigned unit. So I go in to drill at the Naval Reserve Command, NRC. Sorry, I have to think about that. Here in Marietta, actually on an Air Force base, there's a Navy station there. So physically, that is my training unit, but I'm cross assigned to another unit that is out of Rhode Island, but their operating command is in Virginia, whole nother mess. And they only telework because their operating command is in Virginia. So all of their drills are virtual. So that was the first time I drilled with them because of my um, immune immune immunocompromised body now. It's just much safer to not be around everyone. And a lot of people that are at that NRC chose not to be vaccinated, which is completely fine. I'm fine with people making their own choices for their own bodies, but that also like still puts me at high risk of getting COVID, which could take me out, especially with my high risk of blood clots. So um, I'd just rather not die, especially since I'm feeling so good. Handling everything otherwise besides the allergic reactions, I'm feeling pretty good with the chemo. I just took a pain medication for my joint pain, and actually, it's past 6 o'clock, so I'm late for taking my other meds. But yeah, so with drilling with the Navy, literally, you just log on. Well, drilling with my unit, I should say, you just log on to our Teams meetings um, 3 times a day for those muster times. And if there's trainings, you do your trainings. You let them know when your trainings are completed. If there's any other administrative paperwork or anything you have to do, you make sure you take care of that. And then you hop back at those muster times, make sure you're there and accountable. And then at the end of the day, they just let you know what it's going to be for the next day. And then you show up the next day, you do the same thing, and good to go. It's better because when I'm drilling in person at the NRC here in Atlanta, I don't do anything. Sad to say. I mean, I show up. I'm literally running around handling like my own personal stuff to make sure I'm good with the Navy, like administratively. But besides that, like there's no work for me to do. There's nothing because I'm that type of person that of course keeps up with making sure I do things that I need to do, like all the trainings and everything. Mine are all done for the fiscal year. Besides one that would have allowed me to take the first class exam, but besides that, I really don't care because I was not prepared for it, having had that huge lapse of time not doing anything as an IT in the Navy. I knew I wouldn't pass anyway. So me not being able to take it right now for me is a win because I have more time to study for the next cycle that they have coming. So that's the only thing I fell short on, but that was God's will. So I'm just like, amen. Like it gives me a break. One less thing to worry about because I just started nursing school as well. My 2 classes are online, which is great. So, I'm still trying to work. I'm working remotely, but I'm also like trying to work in office. Um, I'm allowed to work in one of the rooms that we reserve. So I'll be working in there in the office to still stay away from other people, but still be present. So, um, it's been good that my job has been supportive. Every job so far, civilian and Navy, has been supportive with my new condition and just managing my immune system. So that's good. These are 5 pills I'm trying to like ramp myself up to take. So I'm late. I'm supposed to be at 6:30, but I'm just bracing myself because I know if I take it one by one, I have more of a chance of a gag reflex. But if I just choke them all down at once, this might work out better for me. And I was drinking green green lime water. That is chlorophyll in there with some lime juice, concentrated lime juice, and water to help alkaline my body. And chlorophyll is supposed to be good for all kinds of stuff and deodorizing your body internally. So it's also a way for me to try to detox all of these drugs I'm putting in, as well as allowing them to do whatever they have to do with some natural supplements. I'm trying to, tackle this cancer thing from all ends. A lot of fighting I'm doing. I spilled some on myself, but I can't be perfect. Sorry. I'm just gonna put the necklace there. Put the necklace, the moon. Um, yeah. For the exam, like, you're basically just testing your knowledge. How good are you at your job? Which I'm an IT in the civilian realm too, but being an IT in the civilian realm is nothing like being an IT during network security on the ship, or doing, what is that, main com. You're actually setting up communications and different type of crypto, and it's nothing alike. So what I'm doing in my day to day does not necessarily correlate to what I'm doing in the Navy. And I had a whole length of time where I was just out of the loop on all that stuff, where I used to be like one of the top people on my ship training. I was literally in charge of training people. So like now I'm like, I need to hit the books. Like, I'm very self-aware. I'm just going to take that time when things slow down. Hopefully things will slow down with school before the next exam starts up. Ooh, will I be doing clinicals then? I might be doing clinicals then, because I think the next exam cycle will be in March. Ooh, I might have started clinicals, but that'll be on the weekend. So, but the good thing about the study guide that I have, you can listen to the audio. Like what I studied to make second class was, I had a whole study guide and put it in there. And then I would listen to the flashcard audios while I'm driving to work, while I was sleeping. I would have it just running in the shower. So I was just constantly getting all that information uploaded into my brain. That's how I studied it. And it worked because I made second class off of the exam. So we're just going to do that again for first class, because I'm very smart. I hate to toot my own horn, but one thing I'm good at is studying, good at retaining knowledge. So I just got to basically refresh myself, and that'll be good for making first class, getting a little bit extra money. I was actually supposed to put my officer's package in this year to be an officer, but with the whole cancer situation, I definitely can't go to Rhode Island and basically get, bullied for 6 weeks while, doing officers training with my immune system like this. I don't even think they'll take me right now. So I had to just kind of put that on pause. But I was building my resume and fixing my package for that too. But you know what? God just said, you know what you got to do? You're moving too fast. You got to slow down. So this is just another hiccup, another bump in the road. But I'm very positive that I joined the Navy to be an officer. I'm going to be an officer. I still have a lot of time left because I'm only coming up on 8 years in November. So, if I could just still cruise in there and slide in there to be an officer until my retirement, like, that would be great. That would be great, because my retirement would be 5. Oh, what a blessing. What a blessing. Retire at 45. Amen. But yeah, so far, I'm just chilling, trying to stay positive. I haven't done any of my schoolwork that's due. Oh, hi, Alex. You're watching. That's nice. I haven't done any of my schoolwork yet for nursing school. So I know. I mean, I did tell my professors I was in the hospital on Thursday. I didn't get out until really late. So it was like 3 p.m. I went in, and then I got out at 7. No, sorry. Ooh, not 7:30. I was there for 7 hours and 30 minutes. I got out at 10:30. Remember when I put you in the Navy? Yeah, you did put me in the Navy. Oh my gosh. Hi. I didn't know you got my message. But yeah, you put me in the Navy, and I'm still here fighting the good fight. So you really shaped how I become, I was a little smart, cocky civilian then. I'm not cocky anymore, but I'm still very smart. My ASVAB score says it all. So does my DLAB. But yeah, I'm just, this cancer is just something else for me to fight, right? That's how I see it. And I was always fighting in school, fighting somebody for something. I was always fighting in life. There's a lot of different adversities. I'm not gonna give a sob story because, like I said, they all made me stronger, right? Who's coming in? I'm on a live. Don't bring no children in here. It's my mom. Sorry. Yeah, I posted it on Facebook, so you should just be able to click on the link. Okay, you done already? No, I'm on live right now. Oh, okay. Everybody watch me talk to you instead of them. Oh, geez, that's sad. But yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, so like everything's been a fight for me, and that's not to say that anyone needs to feel sorry for me. It just shows that I'm prepared for this battle, you know. So if anyone's concerned about like my mental, oh, I'm sure she's gonna hop on now and she's gonna be talking to you in the chat because she always asks how you're doing. But yeah, I say all of that to just say this, that mentally, if anyone's concerned about how I'm holding up with this diagnosis, I'm prepared to fight. I'm a fighter. I've been fighting all my life. I literally was going to do Muay Thai, kickboxing. My mom had to talk me out of it because it was too dangerous. She wouldn't even let me buy a motorcycle because that was too dangerous. Like, I can handle things, you know? I can handle things. I can take on battles. I really believe I'm a warrior. Like, you know, I envision myself as Xena, but, you know, even with the yelling, I can do that yell. So I can take on everything. You know, it's just like whether or not I'll be able to have all the real highs of life right now is just like the question mark. But, you know, just have to reschedule my trip to Bali. That was going to happen in August. That was like the biggest blow to me because I was like, I'm going to go to Bali. Had this set up. Like, you know what? This year, I was like, I'm going to go. Thank you, girl. I miss you so much because I know, like, if you were here, you'd be making me laugh through all this. That's one thing. We always made each other laugh. Um, exactly. Having the positive outlook. That's what everything said, right? All the cancer blogs I read and everything, they're just like your mindset when you are told a diagnosis, how you determine your next phases in life and your next step in processing your condition. Your body is going to be responding to what you're telling yourself. So if I legit wake up every morning and just like, oh, I feel like death. Well, hell yeah, I will feel like death. I'll start declining, to meet up with what I'm saying. But for me, in my mind, like, no, I had to cancel my Bali trip that I was planning. I legit had $6,000 saved in the bank, and I was looking at Airbnbs and different jungle bungalows, and I had to put that on pause because of this damn cancer. And that is unacceptable because if anyone knows me, they know I love a good holiday. Okay. And my son was very upset because he loves holiday too and he loves planes. So I had to go and break that news to Alan Grayson and he was not happy. Okay. Granted, I didn't say because I had cancer. I just said, we can't go to Bali anymore. We already had matching shoes. We're going to have matching sweats on our long plane ride, and so we just had black shoes in there. He has his tie-dye sweats, but it's a good thing though, because you know what? We were having trouble finding adult tie-dye sweats that matched his right now because winter season's done. So this is all God working in my favor because you know what? Winter's coming around again. I'm pretty sure they'll have the tie-dye sweats that matches his color come out again at Target. And then we can all color coordinate and it'll be fine. We'll look great on the plane when we finally go to Bali. I just won't be able to go on my 31st birthday because I might be having reconstructive surgery because I opted for the double mastectomy. Since the cancer I have has more likelihood of reoccurring, we just gonna chop it off. And I'm just gonna get some new boobs. So, we just gotta stay positive. And I'm gonna be 2023, new me, who this, looking fantastical. So don't cry for me, Argentina. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. If you're concerned about my mentality, don't be. I'm gonna be fine. The only major concern I have is Alan because he's a warrior. He literally will ask me like three to five times a day, "Mommy, are you okay?" And that was before I got diagnosed with anything. He just checks up on me. So now that, he sees me getting up in the middle of the night, like stumbling to go get my medicine, like if I have a headache or, whatever side effect I'm dealing with that night. He chooses to, he's been sleeping with me since he was firstborn. First day, they said don't co-sleep. That boy was right there because I was not getting up in the middle of the night to go into another room just to breastfeed. No, he was on the bed. So he's still on the bed right next to me half the time. And so when I get up, he like sits up, make sure I'm good. And I have to tell him, no, it's good. You could go back to sleep. Um, but besides that, like, I'm just concerned about him, like, feeling like he can't be a kid because he feels like he has to take care of me because that's my job. He wasn't born for me to be like, oh, I'll have this child to take care of me when I get old. No, I specifically had him because I wanted a companion that was going to travel with me and do all the fun things in life. And so I think he should still be able to do that. Should still be able to be a kid, just to be able to enjoy all the good things in life and not have to worry about, is mommy going to fall over today? No. So this is not even me trying to put on a brave face. Like I said, I'm not going to act like I'm dying if I don't feel like I'm dying. I have cancer. Cancer doesn't have me. That's what I keep telling myself, and that's what I keep telling my mom. So yeah, it's going. Okay. I'm just more so concerned about him. Like me, this is just another story. Like I said, this is just another story. Oh my gosh. This is gonna just add to my autobiography. See, God works wonders. I just gotta, this is just another maybe like 3 chapters in my autobiography, determining how, based on how it turns out, of course. But oh my God, this is the whole cancer section for my autobiography. Look at God. Amen. I try to reassure him, but that dude, he's like, okay, so this is what he did recently. He got up last week and he was saying he was going to do the dishes. Granted, there was like 4 things in there, but he's like, he used all of them. So he's like, mommy, don't worry, I'm just going to do my dishes now. He like went up to the sink and he was washing his dishes. But he was just like putting soap on the plate and then just using his hands. So I was like, here, use the washcloth, use the scrub, like, that's how you do it. So he was there. I'm just going to wash them. Granted, I didn't trust that he was going to do it properly, but I allowed him, to be self-sufficient and to do it. And he put it like in the sink. I was like, just leave them in that sink. You wash them in the sink, leave them in that sink if they're going to dry. But, of course I was going to go check him and redo them. But he just felt so proud of himself to basically step up and, help me. And so I allow him to help me when he can. Girl, go get that book club, honey, because I know, just the way I'm talking on here, that book is going to be it's going to be a hot mess. That book is going to be just nothing but pure entertainment. It will. Didn't we take creative writing together? I think we took creative writing together in high school. And if you remember any of my writings, it's going to be very descriptive and very eccentric. So that book's going to be, it's going to be a lot. You might need like a few glasses of wine with that book when it comes out. Hit up my mixtape too. But yeah, and Aylin decided to make his own breakfast this morning too. So he said he wanted eggs and he wanted sausage. So we went downstairs and I said, so Aylin, do you want to make your own breakfast? He said, yeah, because I'm a big boy now. And I was like, well, you don't have to be a big boy. You can still just be Aylin. And he said, yeah, but I'm Aylin the big boy. So I'm like, okay, Aylin the big boy, let's make your breakfast. So I made him crack the eggs himself. Granted, he didn't like doing that because he got his hands dirty. And then I made him take the sausages and put them inside the air fryer. So he put his 2 sausages in the air fryer, scrambled his eggs himself, add the ingredients himself, poured it in the pan, and I just watched him hold it on the stove. I showed him how to turn the stove on because he never used a stove before. And he scrambled his eggs in the pan himself really nicely. So okay, all right, that's good. That's good. Okay, definitely will call you. You have a good time in Cali, okay? Thanks for stopping in. Um, but yeah, so he made his own breakfast for the first time that, on the stove. He just learned how to like pour his cereal himself too last week, which He's like an old man because he just eats granola and milk. He just eats birthday cake granola from Target with almond milk. So that's my little old man. That's what he normally eats for his breakfast. But today he was feeling eggs and chicken sausage. So that's what he had, and he made it himself. So at 6 years old, I feel like he's just so evolved. I feel like he's way like light years ahead of where I was when I was 6 years old. Granted, I feel like I was a mature 6 year old, but for a boy, I feel like that's a bit fast. No shade to the guys, but I'm just saying, boys are usually like doing dangerous stuff, like jumping off of, I don't know, couches onto TVs or something. And he's just like drawing pictures and watching people build things on TV and asking me about the planets and asking me about constellations and whether or not magic is in everybody. And he told me he called this girl soulless at school. I'm like, sir, I said, how do you know that? Okay, I don't know if Carly's mom might ever pop up on here, but he said Carly was soulless. Like, what kind of a snap is that? I've never heard a child snap on somebody and be like, you soulless. Aylin Grayson said, Mommy, do you know that Carly is soulless? And I said, elaborate. What? Apparently, Carly is soulless because she isn't considerate of people's feelings. That's what he said. She doesn't care about people's feelings, so that makes her soulless. This boy came to these conclusions all on his own, but I'm glad he's able to assess situations like that from a young age so he can know who's for him and who's not. PJ, yeah, you and them sock'em boppers as is, those Hulk hands were just dangerous for everybody. The amount of times you punched me in my head, I'm surprised I'm not concussed for the rest of my life. But you made it out. You made it out. You saw the other side. That's all we could hope for. That's all we could hope for. But yeah, like, I'm just glad that he's just so in tune with himself, with nature. He talks to all the plants. I have like a whole little jungle on top of the counter with my Aero Garden. He's watching Soul on Disney Plus on a deeper level. Bro, I tried to let him watch that movie and he was not interested. But I was like fascinated because I'm all into that stuff. I was like, dang, this really shook me. This really made me think about some things. Try to make Aylin Grayson watch that. He said, no, Mommy, I just want to watch Incredibles. Not even Incredibles 2. He don't like that one. That one's boring. That one's peasantry. He likes just Incredibles 1. So there you go. But yeah, he said that Carly was soulless because she didn't care about people's feelings. And I said, so she's inconsiderate. He's like, yep, because when I told her that she told me that I was her boyfriend. And then she told me that, but her husband is in the other class, Logan. And I told her, well, I don't want to have, to be your boyfriend and you have a husband, but I don't even like you like that. I just like, who he said, I just like Bryson and Timmy because they're my best friends. She said, well, I don't care. You're my boyfriend. And he said, well, you're soulless because you're forcing me into a relationship, ma'am. And I just want to have friends. I don't want no relationships right now. You see, like these kids nowadays, they got it all figured out. We ain't got to even do much. They got it all figured out. This one over here trying to practice polyamory with my son, who's just not ready for that. And he communicated that he ain't ready. He ain't ready to go down that level. And she's trying to bully him into polyamory. And my son said, no, ma'am, no, you friend zoned. And I just got to applaud him for having, boundaries, because boundaries are important. Oh, even when it comes to his hair, he be telling them don't touch his hair. So he has very long hair, and he be telling them, all them people that be trying to touch his hair, don't touch my hair. My mommy just did my hair. Don't touch my hair. Keep your hands to yourself. I told him to tell them that it's his bubble. They can't pop his bubble. So he's very vocal. And that's all I can ask for, is him being able to stand up for himself. He's more of a talker than a fighter, but I've seen him fight some people now. All I got to make sure is that he ain't getting himself into too much trouble, but he's very good at at least standing up for himself when it's necessary. So, mm. But enough about my awesome son, who I think I'm doing a really good job in making a nice little human being. Um, Anyone have any questions specifically about cancer, what it feels like, what prompted me to go and actually see a doctor? Or I don't know if anyone's been following my journey completely that I posted on YouTube. Um, but I tried to be very thorough. I think I made the longest video I have in a while Friday morning when I could not sleep because they gave me the steroid, which gives me insomnia. So I slept for like 2 hours and then I was up wide awake. Um, so I made a 20, I think it was like 21-minute video explaining a lot. But if anyone had any questions, I felt like having this platform to kind of bring awareness to our bodies was important because I'm one of the healthier ones that my mom had, bless her heart. I'm always on her for picking out healthy options in the stores and, stuff like that. And just trying to be healthy as is. I normally cook a lot for myself, but once in a while, I do indulge in a lot of junk food. And so it's just like when it came to cancer initially, I was just like, why me? Like, I thought I was doing everything right. For my birthday, I didn't go to Bali because it was the rainy season. I went to Arizona on a spiritual mind and body retreat. Okay. That's where I was for 7 days to spend my birthday in Arizona, doing a full body cleanse. It was completely juice, 3 juices a day with water in between, no TV, and just journaling, connecting with myself. And it's so weird that I connected with myself and something put me in that place. And while I was there, I found out that that place is where a lot of cancer patients go for treatment. So I feel like the universe was aligning everything to start prepping me to do what was best for my body. Because, as you know, I do tarot readings and aura readings and everything. I do all that. And I hadn't read myself in a long time. Since I got out of the Navy, I was more focused on being established as a civilian and figuring out who I was as just me, not IT2 French Williams, but just as Victoria French Williams, just as Tori, to my family, and it's just like really hard for me to dive back into my spiritual self when I was just so focused on getting my feet planted on the ground. My laptop dying. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. So, all right. So with that being said, oh, that's why it was getting darker. You see, like I'm an IT and I just ignored it and kept turning up the brightness on my computer. See? um, yeah, so I literally just ended up saying that I need a full mind body reset from the toxicity of my work environment from when I was on the ship, and booked it. Put that all on my Amex card, and I was like, we going, and we gonna figure it out later. And I'm glad I did go because it kind of gave me the tools to know what I needed to do to help get my body back on track to where it needed to be to fight this thing. So I had already cut alcohol out because that retreat was like to prep to go to the retreat. They wanted you to stop drinking if you did drink, stop smoking if you did smoke, all the stuff. And I wasn't smoking. Of course, I don't smoke anything. I just drank excessively. I'm a tequila girl and a wine girl. So I had to give up tequila, my favorite girlfriend, and I had to say goodbye to the margaritas, and I had to say goodbye to wine. Not really, because I drink non-alcoholic wine, but still, I had to compromise for my health. And I also got a gym membership and I started working out and I was doing everything that I felt like I needed to do, and I needed to be present and needed to love on myself because I haven't been doing that. And I wasn't doing that since COVID. Like COVID kind of just like was hard on me physically. But I was getting myself back to where I needed to be. And then I was like, you know what? About to take a shower. looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm just like, why am I looking at myself in the mirror this long? I don't really like mirrors. Mirrors creep me out. I was like literally doing this. I was like, why am I staring at myself like this? Like, why am I doing this? I feel like there's a reason why I'm doing this. So I stopped and I'm just like, let me just stop. And I was like listening. And I literally heard a voice say, I don't know whose voice it is. Because I'm pretty, like I said, I'm pretty spiritual. I'm pretty much in tune with my ancestors. I know who's talking to me usually at each point. But this voice was like gentle. It was literally sounded like, just check. Like soft like that, like, just check. And I just knew it meant check my breast. But I was like, twas I. Georgia, get out of here. I was trying to figure out, I was like, why would I check though? Literally, I said out loud, like, why would I check my breast? I was like, I don't do anything with my breast. I just literally stopped wearing bras this year. Like I don't, what am I checking for? Like, I don't have any more boobs since I nursed Aylin. Like, there's nothing to check. But I was like, you know what? I haven't heard that voice before, so it must be telling me to check for a reason. You know, you don't. I'm one that doesn't ignore messages. So when I was told to check, I was like, Lord, let me just start doing this breast exam, especially for sleep. Taking time or not allow your body to adjust. For real. Yep, you're right, PJ. And then so for the breast exam, I don't know who all's on because it only shows that one person's on, but I see 3 people talking in the chat. So I don't know if this is accurate. But what I happened to do was literally, I remember you can do a breast exam while you're laying down flat in your bed or when you're standing up. And so for me, since I was already looking in the mirror, I just went like this, touched all around. I gotta be careful because the lump is on this side. Ooh, it feels firmer. So yeah, I literally just did this and I was like moving my fingers like that, fingers like that, fingers like that, all around. So you're just gonna keep palpating and your hand over your head so you can feel the tissue in your breast. And apparently the axilla under here, lymph nodes, you can feel them too if they're enlarged or if they're swollen or if there's a lump down there. And if there is, you might have cancer here too, because apparently I didn't know that was there until my oncologist went whoop, and almost killed me the other day. So check down there too when you're checking. And I did check this side too. And this side was good. And I was like, okay, she good. You know, she good. But then this side here was like, ooh, there was something there. And I thumped it and it hurt. So like, ooh, it hurt. Something ain't right. Something in the water ain't clean. So I sent a secure message via the VA app, Trusty Dusty VA app. So I could say, the VA, kudos to you. I sent that secure message at, I believe it was like 8:09 at night. And I received a response while I was in office at 11 o'clock the next day, telling me that there was an opening at 2 for me to get over there. So I was like thoroughly impressed because most of the time when I would send secure messages, they would take their time. But I guess, a lump, the urgency of what it might be, they actually responded to me very quickly. Sorry, the VA app, if you are a veteran. But they responded to me very quickly, got me in there for a physical exam. She said, yeah, I see it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she also was like, okay, cool. We're going to go ahead and schedule you to get a sonogram. See what it is, ultrasound. I was like, cool, let's go. Went there and did a sonogram and went there and did a mammogram. And then after that, I went and got the biopsy a week after that. And then I got the results on the 23rd of May. I remember because I was in office again. And the radiologist from Wellstar called me. No tact. You're going to call me midday on a Monday. You're going to start my week off with cancer. No tact at all. I'm like, who trained you? Like, good morning. Happy Monday. You got cancer. Have a great day. Okay. You too. All right. Bye-bye. No. Like, nah, man. I was pissed. Because I've seen, when you watch movies, they're so kind and they're so caring and they're so like, ma'am, I'm going to need you to come in so we can discuss your results. You're like, okay, you're going, you're already dreading it, but at least you know you're going to talk to somebody face to face on a human level, right? That's what I was experiencing in my mind was going to happen. But what reality told me was, you got cancer. You deal with it. And I was like, how rude. How rude. I felt just like, what's her name? Who's that girl? DJ, Michelle. Who was the middle child in Full House? I felt like her when she was always like, how rude. I felt like it was just rude. I felt like it was rude. I felt like they should have at least waited for my primary care physician to tell me if the radiologist, was just going to tell me like that. I could have waited for a call from my primary care where I would have had an appointment, been able to talk to somebody who I know and trusted because I didn't know who this radiologist was. It was a woman, and the person that actually performed the biopsy was a man. So I was like very confused. But with that being said, I got that news at work. I literally cried 5 different times to 5 different people. And I felt so guilty and felt bad because I'm not really a crier. If anyone knows me, if I cry, I usually cry when I'm really angry. And I can't like voice what I want to say without becoming the devil. So I was crying excessively to strangers because like I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I didn't want to go home because I'm gonna go home, right? And I'm gonna tell my mom this, and then I'm gonna have to face my mom. Or just thinking about it makes me want to cry again. And then I'm gonna have to face my mom because I know I'm like her rock. Like we live together, we share the bills. Like it's like if I could co-sleep with my mama, I would co-sleep with my mama. But her bed is uncomfortable, and she don't like my bed. Okay, my mom was like my best friend, so well, you know what? The radiologist, it's not even, that's what I'm saying. Like, I felt like it was rude the way they delivered it, but it's not even that they were rude. They just delivered it without any tact. Like for them, it's just like, oh, another diagnosis. It was just like cut and dry. You have cancer. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. You should be hearing from your primary care. We tried calling them. They didn't answer. So I at least wanted to let you know. Hope you have a great day. But it's not necessarily rude. It's just like, well, damn. Like, could you at least buy me dinner and make me feel nice before you just go ahead and my brother's on here. I won't swear. Screw me. I'll say screw me. You know what I mean, PJ. But either way, I just felt like things could have been handled a little bit better with that part. No, I didn't file a complaint. I could have been a Karen, but I was like literally too distraught to be a Karen. Yeah, they did. It's like a band-aid. They're like, you know what? We just gonna rip this off of you. And normally I do like my news like that. I like my news raw, cold. I don't like things sugar coated at all. So either way, I would have liked them to get to the nitty gritty and not try to butter me up or lead me on with any false hope or anything. But I just didn't think a phone call was it. I felt like when it comes to some news like that would change your life or that could end your life, I feel like that should have at least been discussed in person. That's just how I feel about that. Um, but they could have told me it cut and dry like that in person. And I think I would have still received it better because I'm a straightforward person. But over the phone in my workplace where I didn't have an escape, to me it wasn't okay. It wasn't okay. And like I said, the people at work, they didn't even know me. They don't really know me that well because me, I come to work and then I go home and mind my business. I love my house. So it's one of my favorite places to be. So I was just like, now I'm crying to all these coworkers who I don't even cry to my family members. There's some family members I had that have never even seen me cry. So I'm crying to all these strangers, and I'm just like, I look like a weak AB, you know? And people know me as no, firm, reliable, consistent. If there's anything that describes me, those are the words firm, reliable, consistent. Some people may not like the firmness of me, but they know it's consistent. Every single time you know what you're going to get with me. And I pride myself on that. But now I'm falling apart in front of these people. And I have to literally figure out how to get it together to continue with the workday. Because that was, like I said, that was like, I think they called me at like 10 a.m. I think they called me like at 10 a.m. the start of my workday. I'm the first one into work too. So I'm the tech support team lead. I get in at 8 o'clock, and then I leave at 4 p.m. while everybody else starts at 8:30, and they work until 4:30 to 5:30. So I'm literally in first, and I'm the first one out. And so literally, like, was only 2 hours into work, so I had the whole day to cry while at work, and I was just like, damn, they gotta do better, because I don't even know how I'm gonna like cope. I went outside. I went for a walk. I walked around the whole you have this whole like business complex. I was like walking outside, like trying to just like, how am I gonna go home and tell my mama? I sent the message in like the Facebook family chat that we have with my best friend and my best friend's boyfriend, who's also like really close to me, and my siblings and my mom. And I was like, yeah, so these are the results, because we're able to see the results uploaded on our charts, but of course on Wellstar when you have my chart. But I'm not a doctor. So yeah, I can Google and I could see carcinoma, and no, carcinoma means no, ma'am. That's not what I want. But am I able to interpret them and apply them to myself accurately? I'm smart enough to know that I do need someone that has a degree in this to actually explain what it means for me, and to what degree is it going to be, changing my life. And it's getting dark fast, so let me turn my light on. But yeah, I just felt like I had a deep moment where it was just like confusion, because there was no explanation of what it meant for me. Because the radiologist looked at, when I said, okay, what does that mean for me? The radiologist said, I'm sorry, I can't, I don't have a treatment plan for you. That's not my job. I just basically look at the raw data and just let you know, like, this is what I found. So like I said, their take on it was, yeah, this is just the raw data. This is cut and dry. This is what's going on. But in order to get it interpreted, I had to see an oncologist. I had to see a surgeon for my treatment plan. I still have to see a radiologist. I have the consults, I believe. There's always some kind of appointment on my calendar. There's conflict right now because it says that I'm supposed to be doing something on Monday, and I don't have anything on my actual calendar here on Monday. So I have to go look at some actual physical paperwork, make sure I don't miss anything. But supposed to have a consult coming up to see the radiologist, because how it's supposed to go is it's supposed to be chemo, which I started last week. I have 6 cycles of that. So I should be done with chemo by November, because they spread it out to every 21 days, as long as my cells recover, because literally chemo kills your cells. It's supposed to be killing the cancer cells, but it'll attack anything. White blood cells, red blood cells, cancer cells, the hair cells, hair follicles. That's why your hair falls out, because it attacks cells, period. If the cells, can give it the 1-2 punch and fight back, cool. But if not, then you're just going to be bald. So far, I'm not bald. Granted, I had alopecia. My hair actually grew back, you can tell, because I did dye it. So that way, when it does grow back, I can see the growth. So it was way lighter. I did dye it, but I still have the alopecia hair. And the alopecia hair is from stress from the Navy. So yes, I did put that on my VA claim as well to get my money, because they playing with me. But I was like, okay, yeah, chemo, my hair might fall out again. I literally shaved my head bald to apply the treatment for my alopecia. So, being bald, there's no new feats for me. It's just like, damn, I gotta start over again. Like, this is like the 5th big chop. It's getting ridiculous now, But besides that, like the whole hair loss things, I got wigs. Like, it's just hair. I'm cool. I can make bald look sexy, put on some lip liner, some lashes, and some hoops, and we can make something happen. It's not like I'm dating anyone anyway. There's no one to impress but my bed. My bed never let me down. So that's literally like how I just, yeah, I was turning up the brightness, Georgia. I don't love myself. Let's see here. Okay. That's what my mom been doing for years, right? Our moms, they've been cutting off their hair and they've been making bald look sexy. So That might just be a French woman thing. We just might just have to be bald. You cut your hair off recently too. We just have to be bald. Because Vicky too, she just got this haircut. I don't know where she went. She came up in here looking like a brand new person. Granted, she's had that same kind of like faux hawk thing for a while, but she had like lines up here and like little dents and stuff. And she showed me the picture of how it's supposed to grow in, and it's supposed to look like flower petals in her hair when it grows in. I'm like, whole new person. Whole new person. Her and her big belly, because she's like 7 months pregnant. 7 months? July. Wow. August, September. Yeah, she had a baby in September. That girl's 7 months pregnant. It's crazy. But yeah, literally like we just gonna have to work out the baldness, and what's for me is for me. So whoever's gonna find me, they're gonna find me. They're gonna love me bald. We're gonna be fine. They're gonna love the sense of humor. Like, how can you not love my sense of humor? It is not having to do nothing. I'm telling you, when I was like, you know what? I think I'll make an effort today. I'll put my wig on just to take my new military photo. Oh my God, where is it? It's like, Georgia, remember my photo for my ID in Washington, how nice that came out? Bruh, this new military ID is like A1. Like, I'm gonna text my mom, I'm gonna bring it upstairs. I gotta show you. It's like, I put lashes on and I put my good wig on, honey. Put the good wig on now. Put my lashes on yesterday, and I made sure I put on some foundation because I still had like the hives from the allergic reaction. And that photo was like, you here, Gunny. You here, and you're square. And I was so happy. Thank you, Alex. Like I said, consistency, right? We always was just laughing all the time in school, barely getting any work done. And I'm still the same way because I'm procrastinating. I have not done any of those four discussion posts. Hopefully my professors don't ever find my YouTube, because I'm gonna be like this girl sitting here on YouTube instead of doing those discussion posts. Cancel my ass. But no, seriously though, like I'm like the chief procrastinator. I need to do better. No, yeah, because like when I first took my photo, I had like the double chin because I was cold in there. I was waiting for a long time in there, and I had my cardigan on. And then like I guess like when she told me to say smile, I went like this. So it made me have like a double chin, and my cardigan like aged me. And the wig I had on was supposed to be a red wig, and it looked really good, and I had makeup on and everything. But the red wig, for some reason, the part made me look like I was wearing like a hat. So I was like, okay, so when I lost my military ID in the park the other day, God was like, "This is an opportunity for you to do better." And I was like, "I heard you, God. I heard you, and I'm gonna take that memo, and we gonna work it out." Yep. No, it wasn't the. It's not the super long black wig I had. It's the black wig that is in the picture for my YouTube in the corner. It's that one that makes me look all like business casual and suavemente. That one. Thank you. Yeah, for some reason, like apparently God was sleeping on my lashes. So now when I add the lashes, they be like, bow. And they're not even super long. They're literally just like maybe 1 centimeter more with some mascara, you know? But that's all I did. Mascara, liquid eyeliner to fill it in to make it look more natural with the lashes, and then foundation, and that's all I did. No, not even any lipstick or anything. Just like try to make it look fresh face, so it's like more youthful instead of pounding on the makeup to kind of overcompensate. I'm like, let me just try the other route here, since before I just put a lot of stuff on. I had eyeshadow and everything. I'm like, and I look super old, so I'm like, no, we just gonna keep it fresh faced, and hopefully I don't look crazy. Yeah, we still graduated though. That's facts. Graduated both times. Remember? Oh my God, did you? I graduated cum laude in high school. That's crazy. Simple is better, yeah. I still can't remember. I can't believe I graduated cum laude in high school. And I tell people that they're just like you, and I'm like, I'm not a dumb dumb. I know I just like crack a lot of jokes, but I'm not dumb. Never that. Okay. I work way too hard to be called a dumb dumb. I was just gonna say, where's that woman with my ID, and I forgot to text her. Don't tell her I said that. Hold on, let me text her. Hold on. Upstairs. please. And I'm gonna put that face that with the puppy eyes. Yeah. Because she just came in the room, and I was like, don't you bring no children in this room because they too loud. But she didn't. Oh gosh. But yeah, any more questions? I felt like I was rambling. I don't even think I was like that crazy with my studying in high school though. What? Wow, I really came over to watch you do homework. I don't think I was that crazy, with my studying. Was I? I thought I was such a procrastinator. But if you think I'm studious, like that really makes me feel so much better because that means I was doing something right, even though I felt like I was just cruising through my life on a skateboard and I can't skateboard. So that was kind of scary. But that's literally how I feel. I just been like, if I die, I die. But now I'm not gonna say that because we ain't dying. We're not dying. No, no, no. We ain't doing that. Let me see. Did she message me back? Did she see my message? It didn't show the little ball that she saw my message. Do I gotta call her? Woman, I better not have to call this woman. I know she right downstairs. See, that's the most annoying thing when you know somebody's right there. I was on the study grind. I felt like in college. Remember, I used to like. Was that high school where I used to like highlight everything in different colors? I could have sworn that was college, like Edison. I thought in Edison I was like super crazy where I would like highlight everything with different colors, like this definition and this color, and I used to just like flip back and forth. I thought that was the 2 years of college at Edison where I was like that anal about it. But I know in senior year I was like, nah, we getting into these colleges. We gonna boost that GPA. What did my lump actually feel like? Because they say it feels like a marble. Nah, this one here, I just popped my arm. Let me see. I've been leaving it alone since the biopsy because, okay, right here. So this one feels kind of like a wall. It feels like like it's calcified, like a wall. So for me, it's grown, um, which is a little bit concerning. Yeah, but we also found that there are more masses. So I have metastatic because we found it in the lymph node. I had the biopsy on Wednesday. They did find it in the lymph node. So now our concern is what if they have to remove more than one lymph node. Since it's metastatic, that means the cells travel. Cancer cells travel. They have to remove the lymph node. It may cause a lack of drainage because that's what the lymph node does. It drains fluid from the body. So it may cause a lack of drainage under here, and it might cause this arm to swell. It's a condition where it will cause the arm to swell. So I don't know if you've ever seen like somebody with just like one arm really big or one leg really big. It's just like something's going on with their lymph node and their axillaries, which is just a lack of drainage. So that might happen to me. Like I said, I have no prospects. I'm single, like a dollar bill floating in the wind that has no owner. Like I can't be having one arm bigger than the other. So that's my concern. Like new boobs, yes. Lumpy arm, no. Like we gotta they gotta do something. So now that we know that it's there, I was really hoping that it wouldn't be there, but it's there. It's there, and that was the concern. Granted, like the chemo, of course, I am already started on chemo, so it should be. No, it's saying I still have that appointment on Monday. Who is that appointment with? Atlanta general surgeon in person. I don't think I'm supposed to have this appointment because I had my general surgery consult. I had my general surgery consult the week before last, so I'm going to cancel that appointment. Okay. Oh, thanks, boo. But that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not in a rush to get married, don't get me wrong. But it would be nice to travel with a partner, have a vacation. Cause all I've been having is just mommy and Aylin. Okay. When we travel, we live our best lives. It's funny. Half the time it's funny, it's just shenanigans. But it will be a nice change of pace to travel with someone you love that, isn't your dependent on your page two and your power of attorney if you die. I'm just saying, you know, I'm just saying. It's different sometimes for other people. But for me, like, I don't mind switching it up. I would like to switch it up sometimes. You know, a vacation sounds nice. Naked in Tahiti. Oh my God. I can't even go to new beaches. I can't be having my baby out there on a new beach. Like, I mean, I could. He's always naked in the house. But, I feel like societal appropriate things are not really my niche. And at the risk of scarring my child, I will not take him to a new beach. I'll let him work that out on his own. Okay. But I really still just want to go to a new beach. But I normally don't leave my baby anywhere. I go, my baby goes. So I need to just figure that out. Girl, Bora Bora. Oh no, girl! I just saw this movie where this couple went to the Maldives or Bora Bora because she's on a sandbar, and they literally ended up in the ocean. There was a storm, and it swept the whole little hut thing, hotel hut room that they had into the ocean. They were out at sea. The husband got eaten by sharks, and then there was this one colossal shark that kept going after this woman. Like, girl, me and Mama just watched that, and that like scarred me. I'm like, oh, hold on now. Do I want to go to a sandbar hotel? Because if it's a storm and then it gets unhinged and then it goes out to sea, like, I know I could survive because I'm Inspector Gadget up in here. I be having stuff that people don't have on them all the time. But do I want to have to go through that? What doesn't kill you make you stronger. But I'm just like, God, I'm tired. Like, how do you want me to become the man of steel, the woman of steel? How much stronger are you trying to make me? That's how I'm feeling right now. She said, I'm gonna go have myself a good time, period, girl. And they ended up burning down the damn hotel hut because the husband, they found a plane or a plane. There was a plane at first, so she was trying to make like a smoke signal. This girl ended up burning down the goddamn hut. The husband ended up like cutting his leg, so he couldn't walk. So she was laying there and she was like trying to like build a fire. This girl then burnt down the hut. So they had to jump into the water, and they were just on a piece of a board. And then that's how the shark started eating the husband because he had a cut on his leg and he was holding onto the board like Titanic. They were both on top of the board. He fell off the board. And then the shark, while she was sleeping, he was sleeping in the water. Shark ate his whole bottom. Whole bottom. I'm like, damn, that sucks. He was just holding on still. And she just thought he was sleeping. I'm just like, damn. She was like, come on, baby, you should get out of the water. And I'm a damn mess. I shouldn't have laughed, but I laughed when she pulled them out the water. You see, that's why I'm in this predicament because things that shouldn't be funny is what's be making me laugh. I was like, Ma, no. Ma, he ain't got no bottom, Ma. That's a mess. I gotta find the name and tell y'all to watch it. I gotta find my mama need to come up here. I gotta find the name of that movie. Make y'all watch it on Netflix. It's not funny because if that was like Mommy or Aylin and a shark ate their bottom, I'd be mortified, right? If it was me. But when you anticipate, I'm like, why she ain't gonna have no bottom? Because she's sleeping like a fool, and this man had a bloody leg. She didn't have no wounds on her body. And granted, it was like Titanic, and she actually had him on the board, but then for some reason, he ended up in the water while she was asleep. And then I'm like, girl, you don't let that man astray, Lord. You just left your husband out there in the wind. Let me call this woman because I done asked her to bring my card, and I know she hear me, and she ain't coming up here. This is why we tell her she don't love me. Watch. Mommy, did you see my message? No, I just sent you a message in Facebook Messenger asking you to bring up a military ID. It's on top of the table where my laptop is, inside the calc reader. Can you bring it, please? Oh, I thought you were still downstairs at Neville. Hold on. What was the name of that movie that we watched with the shark? The woman in the hut and the shark, and she had lost the baby, and her husband got eaten. Requiem? Requiem? What? Requiem? Requiem? What? R. Oh, the Reckon. Okay, I got it. 2022 film. Okay, I see it. Yep. Because I was just telling them about it. Okay. All right. Bye. All right. So she coming up with the card so I can show you the good picture. But it's called The Reckon, and it has the star of it is Alicia Silverstone. You know Clueless? My mom didn't know who Clueless was, so no, the baby she had lost a baby before they went on that trip. So the husband took her on that trip to kind of like make her feel better, help her recuperate, kind of thing, you know. And so because she had post traumatic stress about it, she kept having bad dreams and stuff. It was really bad. So he was trying to like basically get her out of that funk. And then so the movie is called The Requin, Reckon. So yeah, I was telling them because I googled it, and so Alicia Silverstone is like the main character, and so I was telling mom like, oh my gosh, they got Clueless in here, and she's like, who? I was like, Ma, Clueless. I googled it and everything, and she still didn't know who Clueless was. I was like, Ma, how do you have a baby in the '90s and you don't know who Clueless is? Like, you just upset me. It was a whole series about it. But anyways, so this is the picture. What? Look at that. Who that sexy girl? Yes, honey. Yes. I look fantastical. Yeah. So I'm saying like less is more, right? Less is more. So maybe like I said, the bald head and everything, just some lashes. You know, I didn't even do my eyebrows because I'm telling you, but these cops be wilding out. Oh no, my algae. Oh yeah, so the chlorophyll, it's algae that I use. I buy the chlorophyll, and the algae is what's making it green. And so I guess all the acidity in my lime juice has broken it up because usually I don't have separated follicles in here. This is scientifically amazing. Sorry, I'm like I'm like a goldfish, like or a squirrel. I get easily distracted. But yeah, so back to the lump. Like I said, distracted. Back to the lump. It does feel different for everyone. Mine felt like, let me feel it again. Yeah, mine didn't feel like a marble. The one I'm feeling dense than that. And now, like I said, it's more could feel like to you, like, hey, that bone, and it gets harder, but it's not. So if you feel anything like that, or if you do have a lump in your breast, get it checked out. Don't have them try to gaslight you and tell you like you don't know your own body, because all I've been doing so far is advocating for myself. If there's one thing I'm gonna do, it's gonna be speak up. So like I'm the person that writes reviews and calls managers. So and it's so funny because like in my job, I am essentially a manager. So when they be like, oh, telling my guys, oh, let me speak to your manager. This policy doesn't make any sense. I'd be like, slide him over to me. Best birth control. I'm like, Lord, no, can't pay me. Whoever's coming for me better come correct. Vasectomy and everything. Because it's not happening. We good. We good over here. We got one. My mom was like, be fruitful and multiply. I was like, one and done. Merry Christmas. Mm-mm-mm. Yes. But make sure you guys are doing them exams on yourself, not just for the breast exam. I also have ovarian cysts that thankfully on the CT showed up as negative for cancer. So I'm just a lumpy person, apparently. We lumpy, Georgette. French women are lumpy. So make sure if you feel anything, you get everything checked out, because we ain't got time for them to tell us that we don't know what we're talking about with our own bodies, and then we miss something or they miss something. Yeah, but literally all cancer all being diagnosed with cancer has done for me is to um kind of counteract some of my procrastination, because we're always supposed to, when you have like, when you get to a certain age, right, you're always supposed to make sure you have your ducks in a row. A, have a will. B, have a power of attorney, doable power of attorney if you have children or whatever. C, have a living trust, so that way if you have any property or any assets, it can go to your children or whomever without them having to pay taxes on it. And I have a house that actually raised in property value by 150,000. So I don't want him to have to pay those taxes on that house. If something happens, he should just have someplace he can always call home. I also did a financial statement so that they would know what I had going on financially, what needed to be looked at, stuff like that. My life insurance, I've always been big on life insurance, like even before having a child. The military gave us 400K, and when I was active duty, and now that I'm reservist, I don't have that. I have to opt into it. But with my company, I just took out an extra 200K in May before being diagnosed. So, God told me to do that too for a reason. And I did that. So the company had given me $20,000 of free life insurance taken out, but I went ahead and took out 200K as well on top of that. So it's a good little something. I also even took it out for Aylin. So they only allow you to get 10K. So that would be essentially funeral expenses, God forbid. But yeah, I always feel like it's important to make sure that you take care of the serious things. So that way, if something serious does happen, you don't have to worry about any ifs, ands, or buts, or what did they want. Or I'm very vocal in my will, my last will and testament, my living will, my power of attorney, and my financial statements about where my assets are supposed to go, what I want to happen. Ooh, no, I wasn't too thorough, because I forgot to tell my mama, don't you dare put my military photo up at my funeral, because I'm be mad. I'm gonna be that ghost standing right there. I'm gonna knock that over. I'll knock all this stuff over. I will knock that over. If I see that, if I pass away and she put that ugly military ID up to represent me in my entire life story, we gonna fight. I'm gonna haunt her all night. She gonna be crying. I'm gonna be looking at her. Like, but I told my best friend, so hopefully, you know, Wendy got me and she don't lead me astray and got me looking crazy up in there. And they better not do no crazy makeup. They better not try to get one of these fashionista makeup people to try to make me look brand new. No, don't make me look brand new. Make me look like me. Okay? Don't change my face color. My neck should match the rest of my face. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm a minimalist by nature. So if y'all see me in a coffin, God forbid, it should look like me.